right, it's part 4 of our series, Ultimate Job Match. You've seen Robin, Chris, and Sam in the past few days. We heard about this new test that promises to help you find the best job for your personality. Everybody knows you start with what you're interested in, right? Begin with what you're interested in. But turns out, key questions have to be asked about your personality to tell you where you should do the thing you love. And what are these questions? I took the test. What did we learn about the first question we should all be asking ourselves if we want to deploy our talents in a way that is spiritually suited to us? Well, the first and maybe most important question, are you a social person or not? Do you like working around a lot of people, or do you work better in smaller groups? Well, guess which 4 hit the social gong over and over? Yes, we are 4 highly social workers, liking a lot of people. But there's a difference. It's the next question to ask yourself. Are you enterprising or more emotional and artistic? Turns out the most enterprising of all of us is Sam Champion, which means he likes to take fluid circumstances and make something happen. In other words, bring people along for the ride.
Gang, we're here. Fresh air.
The most emotional and artistic? That would be Robin, expressive and imaginative. And what about the rest of us? Well, some people are practical and persistent, liking hands-on work. Sound like anyone you know? And others are people who like facts and poetry and thinking a lot and clear standards, which I guess brings us back to me. Before I started the test, I looked backward at all the dreams and desires I had as a little girl. My first job, I was a waitress. I was pretty disastrous, klutzy waitress. famous, for catching my sleeve on the door handle, and then the tray would just go shooting across the room. My mother probably really did want me to be a lawyer, and I started law school. And I liked it, but then I realized I just like telling people about the cases, not actually litigating the cases. I just wanted to say, and then she said, and then he said. Now it was time to sit down and find out the spectrum of jobs for my interests and mostly my personality. At first I wasn't sure I was doing it right. I just like everything. What does this say? I haven't found a thing I like. It makes you feel kind of limited. Like Chris, Robin, and Sam, I typed in my interests, and it took into considerations the things I did not like. Hate plants. No botany in my future. Wood shop power tool. You don't want me in the same city using wood shop power tools. Nope, I pretty much love human things that talk and breathe. So next, what are my personality traits that narrow the fields? They say conforming, conscientious, inhibited? I am so depressed. But also, I apparently like persuading people with facts and taking care of others. So when my verdict came in, it was be a bartender. I could be a bartender. Yeah, I could be a bartender. Just lots of listening to people's problems and trying to get them to leave the bar. Or a movie director. A motion picture director. Take that, Mr. Nichols. So let's look again at our quartet of social people. Sam, so enterprising, was the only one of us actually to make the grade for a career in television. By the way, his kind of gumption could also lead him to be a shoe salesman. Robin, her emotional and self-expressive nature, a drama coach, or a comedian. And Chris, who is so persistent, practical, and hands-on, an auto repairman, and this guy does love cars. Or a hairdresser, God forbid. As for me, what would I do with my thinking, facty, persuasive, compassionate, conventional instincts? Go into movie directing or bartending? I kind of like both. At the end of the day, I only want to register one objection. Any test that calls me inhibited hasn't seen this.
So what did Mike say when he heard that you're a movie director?
I think it's fair to say he was left howling on the floor. But it wasn't so far off, was it? Something about our essential nature, the fact that we all, I think that's interesting, the first and most important thing to decide, everybody, is do you like to work in a smaller group or a larger group? Because it does govern your day-to-day happiness in a lot of ways.
It does kind of help you determine what it is maybe that you're going to be most happy doing. Because everyone always says you're going to be working around the clock, so you might as well do something that you enjoy.
That's right. And a hairdressing and shoe salesman, what do you think about the two guys?
No, you volunteered to let Chris cut your hair. You did say that. You said that.